Hello, I'm Frank Olin, Superintendent of Schools for the Diocese of Cleveland, and I'm so excited to have Partnership Schools here serving the mission of Catholic education in the diocese. I'm beyond grateful to the leadership of Partnership Schools and the supporters who made this expansion possible. It was a long journey to get to this point, more than 2 years in the making, but now the work really begins, a formation that will change lives for hundreds of students throughout our diocese. So I'm grateful for the partnership, capital P, Partnership Schools, and the ongoing partnership of lowercase p for innovation, for the future of Catholic education, so that we can keep the highest quality Catholic education as widely available as possible here in this diocese and throughout the nation. Thank you, and God bless.
Welcome to Cleveland Partnership Schools. I am Father Tom Fanta, the pastor over at St. Dominic Church, your new neighbor. We're excited to have you in the neighborhood. We're excited for the innovation and faith that you bring to this school at Archbishop Like, and look forward to continuing deepening our relationships. God bless you in your new venture.
Good evening. My name is Dominic Ozan, and I would like to extend a welcome to the Partnership Schools of New York to Cleveland. There's no more important mission for me, my family, and our family at large than Catholic education. Working with the Partnership Schools gives me a chance to work with our parish, Father Tom, my wife Gail, and others to further this important mission. Archbishop Like is the successor to St. Cecilia's Elementary School, which is where I made my first communion. We were married, Gail and I were married there, and we baptized our first son, Dominic, at St. Cecilia's, and Archbishop Like, at that time Bishop Like, did the ceremony. Bishop Like was a close personal friend, family friend. We ate dinner together at our home on a couple of occasions. We took every opportunity we could to see him and be with him. We will never forget his kindness and his grace. Archbishop Like and Bishop Pella worked together during the time they were here to keep the City of Cleveland parishes open. For all those reasons, I'm delighted and honored to be able to have the opportunity to work with the partnership, with Rich, with our parish and family, and my wife to assist this most important mission. Thank you.
We're all a team here, and Partnership bought these for the entire faculty and student body. So we wear these on Tuesday because it's Team Tuesday. So everybody's a part of this team. New students that come in, we give them the swag. Everybody needs swag, right? We give them our little lanyards. So this is a beautiful piece, and I just have to show you the back too.
Sure.
That's right. Right? Archbishop Like, wouldn't he love to have known that his name was on the back of a jersey? He's part of that team. He started this team.
Congratulations to all of the staff at New York Partnership, and the Cleveland team, and the great work that you're doing, which enhances the good work of the church and Catholic education that's been around for so many years. We're one of the larger diocesan school systems in the country, and it's a great blessing to have New York Partnership join us in reaching out to our young people, providing Catholic faith and formation and education. So congratulations, and we're looking forward to a long period of time of working together to provide a great opportunity for our young people. Congratulations.
When I first learned about Partnership, it was about 3 years ago, and we had a few visitors come to speak to teachers and administrators about what Partnership Schools really do. And so when we heard that Partnership was coming in to take over the running of St. Thomas Aquinas just after it was announced that we were going to close, we were so excited and so grateful to be a part of this network and all that it really meant to us. It was a really hard time right after we closed, and so to know that not only were we staying open, but that we were going to get even better than we were was really exciting, and we were so grateful.
When the partnership model arrived in Cleveland, thanks to the efforts of Rich Clark, my wife Katie and I got on board because they had established such a terrific track record in New York. So we think the chances of success here are good, and we think that the model deserves the support of people like us. We wish Partnership Schools the very best in Cleveland. We look forward to the future.
Good morning, Rich. And Jill and Kathleen. Rich asked me to just say a few words on why we were supportive of the partnership organization. As I think you know, my wife Laurie and I have run a foundation for 20 years that focuses primarily on educational opportunities for inner city children. We believe that education is a core issue of social justice. We also believe that one of the only realistic ways to achieve racial equality and upward economic and social mobility is through a high-quality education. Sadly, many, if not most of the kids in inner city Cleveland are denied that opportunity. When we saw the success of the partnership in New York City, taking Catholic schools that were failing academically and financially and turning them into both academic and financial successes while still providing the character formation element they were so famous for, we were thrilled. When we saw they would come to Cleveland, we felt even better. As we watch the progress so far, and we see in the first year the enrollment looks like it's up 25 to 30% already after continual decline for the last 20 years, we couldn't be happier. We know Rich has done this before with St. Martin de Porres High School, starting from nothing and turned into what I believe is the premier inner city school in the city of Cleveland. And I'm sure you're going to do the same for the partnership.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Jill Kafka, Executive Director for Partnership Schools. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us in this historic moment for the Cleveland community and the launch of Partnership Schools Cleveland. There are so many people who helped get us here, but to start, I'd like to extend a special thank you to our principals, Nancy and Rachel. You both are intrepid leaders and a large part of why we are here celebrating such a successful start to the school year. I also want to thank our host committee for helping spread the word about our celebration and all the folks on the network and school teams who are helping to make this happen. And my biggest thank you goes out to the Diocese of Cleveland for proceeding with a holy boldness to lead change on behalf of the Catholic schools of Cleveland. We so appreciate our partnership with you, and we are so excited for what we're going to be able to accomplish together. Now, before we get started, I'd like to welcome Bishop Grease, who will lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and let us ask a good Lord. Lord, be with us as we walk through this new experience here in Cleveland with the Partnership Schools. Bless our efforts and bless those whose parents entrusted their children to us so that we might produce for them young men and young women who are learned and ready to meet the challenges that our society brings to everyone. So God bless you all, and may this launch be successful today, and may it grow for years to come.
Thank you, Bishop Grease. Now, as many of you know, on July 1st, 2020, after more than 200 years of combined service to the children and families of Cleveland, the school communities of St. Thomas Aquinas and Archbishop Lake joined the Partnership Schools Network, and with it entered a new era of transformation, stability, and excellence. The Partnership Schools Network entered a new era that day as well. For years, we had demonstrated in Harlem and the South Bronx that Catholic schools can transform the lives of the children who need them the most. This year, as we expand to Cleveland, Partnership Schools became a critical proof point, demonstrating that the historic success of Catholic schools is not a thing of the past, but rather part of the vibrant future of Catholic education in America. And because of the challenges we face in 2020, this work could not be more important. In many ways, launching a new network in the middle of a global pandemic and following a months-long nationwide school shutdown seemed impossible. But as they say, it always seems impossible until it is done. And last month, as Archbishop Lake and St. Thomas Aquinas reopened their doors, we saw the joy and hope on the face of every student we welcomed back in person, and we heard the gratitude and the optimism from every parent we greeted. And this launch at this moment was a testament to the resilience of the Catholic school community in Cleveland, and it was the living proof of one of our network group beliefs, the belief that we are better together. Poetically, and as if to punctuate or bless this new partnership between Partnership Schools and the Diocese of Cleveland, a rainbow appeared just as we began to greet families at St. Thomas Aquinas on our first day. This amazing school, which was founded in 1899 and officially closed by the diocese on January 26th, is not only open again, but has seen its enrollment explode by more than 25% in the first month of the school year. So we have much to celebrate. The launch of our collaboration, the start of an extraordinary school year, and the new national scope of our shared mission. Yet no celebration would be complete without the kindling of hope that ignited the passion for us to get here. And I can still remember when Rich Clark, our now founding director of Cleveland, first called me on December 7th of 2017. He was a man on a mission to help transform the schools in Cleveland, and we had the secret sauce to do just that. So without further ado, I would be very excited to introduce and very proud to introduce you to Rich Clark, who started us on this incredible, incredible journey to Cleveland.
Okay, thank you, Jill, and thank you, Bishop, for your invocation. And I remember that call on December 7th, 2017 very well. My experience at St. Martin over the years has been that when our students come to us after 8th grade, many of them are not very well prepared academically. Great kids, can learn, and they do learn, they go into college. But that preparation was really bothering me. Some people on the board thought it might not be a bad idea in looking to starting a new school, a school ourselves. And someone told me about a group of schools in New York that were really moving the academic needle. So, well, that's what we want to do. I called up Jill and asked if I could come and visit. I did visit. I saw 2 schools. I was blown away by what I saw. I came back to their offices in the Archdiocesan building. They showed me the results and what they were doing and their plans, and I was just, this is incredible. And then Jill says to me, well, why are you here again? And I said, well, we're thinking about starting a school. And she said, well, don't you have schools in Cleveland? I said, well, yes, we do, but they're struggling. She said, well, make them better. Get a group and make them better. And that was a simple answer. I could understand it, and I saw that it could be done. So I came back here, and I was on fire about it. Our city has 65% of our adult population is functionally illiterate. Our Catholic schools are struggling to stay open, and they're one of our greatest educational assets. Our city school district is trying every year to do something, and it's just so hard to move that needle. And that's true across the whole country. Large city districts are having difficulties. So I thought, well, this is a proven way of doing it, and let's bring it to Cleveland. So what I'd like to do now is introduce the superintendent of Partnership Schools, Kathleen Porter McGee, and she's going to talk a little bit about what we are, who we are, and what our values are.
Over the past 20 years, we've lost almost 3,000 Catholic schools. In the last year alone, another 148 Catholic schools were added to that list, in part because of the coronavirus crisis. All told, we've lost almost 1 million Catholic school students across the nation. But at Partnership Schools, we're not in the business of closing Catholic schools. We're in the business of stemming the tide of Catholic school closures. We know that for more than 150 years, Catholic schools have been vital community building institutions. We know that Catholic school students are formed not just in knowledge and virtue, but also in ways that shape good citizens and that form future community leaders. Our work at Partnership Schools is grounded in the belief that great schools are guided by faith and values, supported by quality professional development, and animated by a clear vision. And the support we provide to once struggling Catholic schools helps them flourish for years to come.
Oh, thank you, Kathleen. That was inspiring, and it has inspired us in Cleveland. And believe me, it is definitely possible in Cleveland, and we're well on our way. We've had a great start. Of course, none of this really could have happened without the serious and hard work and dedication of several people, really.
And then when that contract was signed on July 1st,
yes,
we just hit the ground running. So it was challenging, it was scary, it was exciting, it was all of those things, as the unknown is, right? So they came in, and first thing they did was pretty much demolish the inside of our building. The improvements that they made here is just incredible. We have every painted surface in this building was repainted, freshened up. We had all of the classrooms are replaced with whiteboards in the teaching walls. They're complementary colors to our school colors of black and red and white. We've got a new phone system, which helps with our all-school communication. So much of what they have done is just incredible. Some of the little things you can't see, the electrical, the boilers, all of those important safety issues too, they have helped with. So for the physical plant, they've done an awful lot, and it was just so refreshing to have our building updated.
So early in the summer, we had this great plan. We were going to get everything painted. The floors are getting redone. Every classroom is going to be touched, wall, ceiling, floor, everything. And that was incredible. But as most things go, especially with COVID, there are different pop-ups, different hardships that come up, different things change as time goes along. And so it kind of got stressful for a minute, right? We had to prepare for all of the safety precautions that were coming our way with a new school year in the middle of a pandemic. Meanwhile, redoing everything. And so it was an overwhelming process, but we opened and we're safe and the building is beautiful, and our families and our community are so happy to be in a building that now looks the way that we feel about it.
I have to tell you, when I were visiting the schools in the middle of August and saw everything piled in the hallway and painters all over the place, I was wondering if we were going to be done in time. But sure enough, the day after Labor Day, we were here, complete with the rainbow, which you saw, and we're ready to go. So kudos to everybody involved. There were a lot of local people involved. Some of the people on our host committee were involved to make this all happen. So thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce the man who really is responsible in Cleveland for helping us transform our academic programs here. Christian Gallivis joins us most recently. He served as the senior director of Notre Dame's Remick Leadership Program, which is the nation's largest Catholic school principal preparation program. Under his leadership, the program actually doubled. Previously, he served as the founding director of the Notre Dame ACE Academies, a multi-city network of Catholic elementary schools. The thing I like about Christian is that when he was asked about joining the partnership, and he left a prestigious university to do so, he used the story of the wedding of Cana, and he said that Jesus changed the water into wine. He took something ordinary, abundant, and simple and transformed it into something extraordinary. And in his words, that's what partnership aspires to do. So, welcome, Christian, to Cleveland.
Thanks so much, Rich. So we're off to an extraordinary start here at St. Thomas Aquinas and Archbishop Lake. As you can remember, Rich, 9 months ago and for the first part of 2020, these schools imagined a very different opening day and opening couple of weeks for September. I mean, St. Thomas Aquinas was closed in January, and both schools had declining trajectories in terms of enrollment over the last 5 years. Together, they had lost about 30% of their enrollment over the last 5 years. And when COVID hit and the schools were closed, the prospects of gaining more students, much less increasing enrollment significantly, seemed pretty bleak. And the historical trajectory was bleak. The current situation looked downright grim by April, when only about a dozen new students had enrolled for the coming year. Today, however, as we were walking up here to the library at St. Thomas Aquinas, we know more than 100 new students. We have more than 100 new students than we had last year in both schools. And so the question is, what happened? What has been done? What all have we done in the schools since last year that has resulted in nearly full or full classrooms in a lot of these rooms? And so I want to share a little bit about what we've done. First, we believe that we're called by name, and growing enrollment is all about relationship building. So we created a position, dedicated resources to hiring an enrollment coordinator whose job is to build relationships in the community, get to know families, and invite them to join the St. Thomas Aquinas and Archbishop Lake family, and hired the best possible person to do that. Portia Gadsden is the former assistant principal here at St. Thomas Aquinas. Her children are graduates of St. Thomas Aquinas. She herself is a graduate of St. Henry's, the school that is the site of Archbishop Lake. She lives in the Archbishop Lake neighborhood. And she is a former air traffic controller, which means she knows how to land planes. And that means that every time someone calls to inquire about bringing their children to one of our schools, Portia follows up assiduously with tenacity and zeal, and usually those children are in one of the desks of one of our schools within days, if not hours. And it's been really great to have her on board.
We're up 30% in enrollment. This is one of the schools was going to close. We had parents that drove by our schools and saw students standing outside and said, wait, there are students there, and brought their students.
We also believe that excellence happens on purpose, and so we've implemented a systematic inquiry tracking and enrollment management system that we've been using in New York for a few years. And with Portia and our network team working that system, people don't slip through the cracks. Every inquiry is followed up on, and that's been a really tremendous system that has helped us to grow enrollment. We also believe that we're made for greatness, and as educators, our vocation is to unlock the potential, really unleash the potential of all of our children so that the gifts that they've been given by God can be fanned into a flame. And that means we invest in the curriculum that's taught at the schools. We provide professional development for teachers for both the curriculum, but also for instructional strategies that they'll need to teach at their fullest potential. We provide a lot of development for teachers. We provide a lot of support for school leaders. We've extended the day so that kids are in school from 8 until 4 p.m. And we've also increased the pay for teachers because we're investing in them as well. We've also invested in the hardware of the schools, meaning the facilities. These places look tremendous. And we have, as George mentioned earlier, we have Ozan Construction and a lot of others in the community to thank for that. Parents see those investments in both kind of the software, the curriculum and instruction, and the teachers, and the hardware, the facilities, and they see that as an investment in their children. We also believe that we're better together. We made a decision in June that we would go back to school in person 5 days a week as soon as it's safe, and put together a comprehensive set of safety protocols. And parents want their children to be together with other children. And we've been getting calls almost daily at the schools. When parents drive by on busy Superior Avenue out here, they see kids outside. They pick up their phone and sitting in traffic, and they call Miss Williamson and say, "Are you doing in-person instruction? Because I want that. How do I enroll?" And so we've had more than 60 scholars enrolled since the first day of school, which is tremendous. It's a challenge for teachers to take in new kids after the first day of school, but it's a tremendous. It speaks well to what we're doing and what parents want, and to what the school has going on. We believe that we can do hard things, and that mindset has really taken off among the teachers and school leaders. And like I said, it's hard for a teacher to welcome new kids after the first day of school, much less to welcome 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new kids, as some teachers have done. Some of our schools have welcomed that many kids in a single day, sometimes every day in a week over the last 3 weeks or so. And so this idea that we can do hard things, teachers have really embraced, and also the belief that we're better together and we're made for each other. They've really welcomed new families coming in with open arms, and they're not seeing new kids as one more student who's going to be an additional burden in their classroom, but rather as one more student in the family we get to reach. And so that mindset shift, these beliefs that we're better together and we can do this hard thing. And it is challenging to balance teaching kids online at the same time that we're teaching kids in person. And you can hear some of our kids here now. It's recess time. It's been really tremendous to see the teachers embracing this challenge with this mindset that we can do this together.
These two classes, 4th and 5th grade, are teaching online and in person at the same time. They're crushing it.
But you know, St. Augustine says that faith is to believe what we don't see, and the reward of faith is seeing what you believe. It's obviously been really rewarding to see so many kids in the building after putting in a ton of work, and watching especially our teachers and leaders put in a ton of work. over the summer and the first few weeks of the year. But the real work begins now that we have this opportunity to reach so many children and to work with so many young scholars. The real reward is going to be forming the next a generation of leaders for Cleveland and the world, and ultimately Saints for Heaven. We're just getting started here with now that the schools are starting to become full.
Yeah, well, that's great, Christian. Thank you. It's the old change the school, change the neighborhood, change the city, change the world, and that's what we're doing. So thank you for that enlightening piece of information about what we're doing here. Christian, we have some questions that were posed to us online. I'd like to try to answer those as we close tonight. First of all, there's a few that have to do about our curriculum itself, how it's representing our community, which is about 99% Black, and then how we're adapting this to online.
Sure. We've adopted curricula in math, K to 8, and English language arts from K to 8, and science and social studies in the middle school so far. We're taking a phased-in approach so that we don't throw new curriculum at the teachers in every subject all at once, which would be pretty overwhelming for teachers, you can imagine. The curriculum is one that we've been employing in our schools in New York, where we serve similar demographics as here in Cleveland. And to the question of how it represents the local community, we employ, in language arts, for example, it's really a great books curriculum. Starting in 4th grade, kids are reading novels that are really high level literature that gives kids rich vocabulary, content knowledge, helps teachers teach writing at a high level. And these are books like Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, Raisin in the Sun, The House on Mongo Street, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, Esperanza Rising Chains. Also, classic books of literature like alongside those ones like Lord of the Flies, Animal Farm, To Kill a Mockingbird. But a lot of books in the curriculum, kids will see themselves and will see themselves represented. We believe representation matters, and they'll see themselves represented. And in history, our approach is that the history textbook is not the history; it's a history. And so we supplement everything that we teach with primary sources from multiple perspectives, so that kids recognize that what gets written in the history books is written from one perspective, and they see other perspectives as well. And so that's really important to us. As for adapting to remote learners, we teach the same curriculum to remote learners, but we're providing a ton of resources for teachers, both from our curriculum providers, but also our academic team has been working in overdrive since last spring to help teachers to provide what we call synchronous or live instruction to kids who are in the classroom and also to kids who are at home, and also asynchronous, or what you can think of as on-demand instruction and work to kids who are in the classroom and at home, and finding ways to balance those two forms of learning for kids who are at home and in the classroom, so that they can teach the same instruction, the same curriculum to all the kids. We believe that the kids who are learning at home are our kids, and we are offering the same curriculum to those students. It's true, it's a challenge for teachers to teach essentially two classrooms, kids online.
And in two different ways.
In two different ways, right. But we're providing, this is one of the benefits of the network. We've got a team that's providing a lot of support.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when you said our academic team. Well, that's what the network is about. That's what Partnership Schools is about.
That's right.
So that's great.
That's right.
We have other questions.
Yeah, so, I was looking at some of these questions here too, and, some of them are about what kind of support the network has in Cleveland, which you're, as the founding director, you're leading the charge on, as well as, how the network is, how the partnership is reaching out to the local community in Cleveland.
Well, yeah, right now our local staff, Christian, count you as one of them. And Portia, of course, we've talked a lot about. John Sharwick, which we haven't talked about, is a retired controller for the Cleveland Catholic Schools and has come out of retirement to help us make this transition, and he's been invaluable. And then, of course, there's me. And I basically, in terms of relating to community, I've tried to talk to everybody I can, whether it's politicians, ministers, priests, and there's a long list to continue to talk to. In fact, if anybody out there has someone you think I should be talking to, please let me know. Our goal is to get this out and to learn from the community. One of the things that I've always thought about this kind of education in a city like this is to use the command from Jesus when Saul was knocked off his horse. And he says to him, now go into the city and you'll be told what to do. And that's what we're kind of waiting to be told what to do. So it's very exciting. There's a question here, and it's a good one. I know last week the Yankees took care of us, and that was unfortunate. But the question is, why Cleveland? Why pick Cleveland as the first place to replicate?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of reasons. When we think about expanding the network to another place outside of New York, there's a list of criteria that we have to consider, and among them are leadership in the diocese in a number of ways. One is at the church leadership that's willing to innovate and be creative about how to do things differently. Catholic schools have been, the stories about Catholic schools for the last 20 years have largely been obituaries. 2,729 Catholic schools have closed.
How many?
2,729.
Wow.
Have closed in the last 20 years, and that doesn't include the 148 that have closed since last spring. And so we have to do things differently. You mentioned the wedding at Cana story earlier that I love. In John's gospel, in the second chapter, it starts with that and it ends with Jesus going to Jerusalem and flipping tables in the temple. And I see that as a sign that
Are you a table flipper?
I mean, I think the partnership can be is a table flipping organization in a sense that the status quo is not working in Catholic schools, and we have to flip some tables to try some new things. And I think in the Diocese of Cleveland, with Bishop Perez was certainly open to flipping some tables to try something new to stem the tide of school closures, and Franco Lynn has certainly been a strong school leader in that sense. You're part of the answer to this. We have an incredibly strong local champion. There's a critical mass of schools that are poised for this kind of growth, and that's really important. There's also school choice, parental choice. We believe that parents have the right to choose the best school for their child, and that's really important to us. This is also the 5th largest diocesan school system in America, and one of our goals is to prove what's possible when parents have the right to choose the best school for their child in a place that's visible like Cleveland, where there's been parental choice for 25 years. And so this is in many ways an ideal place to work. We've got a lot of great friends and partners, and clearly there's demand for schools like Archbishop Like and St. Thomas when we're bursting at the seams as we see when we walk down the halls here.
Yes. All right, well, that's great. Well, those were the questions we got. Obviously, if you have other questions, you know how to reach me, and we're open to any kind of discussion you want to have about this. So I want to thank you, Christian, for answering those questions. And as we close, I just have a few thoughts. Christian, I'm surprised there wasn't a question like, what else do you need? That would have been nice. But I have to tell you, this is just the beginning. So it's so exciting. And we need the support of our community. And we need to build a strong foundation for these 2 schools so that we can grow to 6. Obviously, the pandemic has added expenses, and we're doing well with that. And we provided the shields and the masks and the cleaning and all that kind of stuff, which is tremendous. And that's why we're able to open. A happy problem is that because of our enrollment, we have to hire 2 new teachers and a teacher's aide. I mean, that's incredible that we're actually hiring. We're a Catholic school that's growing and hiring. people. And you heard Christian in his answer about how many schools have closed, and just 150 plus since last spring. I really need your word, your support in spreading the word about this. This is so important. This work of what we're doing is so important, and we need people to know about it. So I'd ask you to, talk to your friends, your families, introduce me to people, anybody you think who could help or is interested. I want to talk to them. And I'd like to close with a final thought. This has been over 2 years. We talked in the beginning about how December 7th, 2017 was the first phone call between Cleveland and New York. And it took us a couple of years to work with the diocese to come to an agreement. We had an agreement. It was going to be signed by Bishop Perez. And I remember driving over to the east side one day and hearing on 1100, Bishop Perez has been transferred to Philadelphia. I'm like, oh no, what are we going to do now? Everybody was, what are we going to do? He was like 2 days away from signing the agreement. Well, it turned out that we needed Vatican approval. And the bishop was going to be leaving in a couple of weeks. And Father Don prepared a letter with Bishop, and they sent it over with the contract to the Vatican to await their answer. Now, I'm thinking to myself, we have basically 10 days to have that turned around. And I was pretty down, depressed. And a reading from the Daily Gospel a couple of days after that was the story of Jesus being led to another town by a woman whose daughter was very ill. And Jesus had agreed to come and help the daughter. While they were walking there, a man came running up and said to the woman, I'm sorry, your daughter has died. We don't need to bother the teacher anymore. And Jesus said, disregard the message, just have faith. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to disregard the 10-day turnaround. It's going to happen. I got to have faith. And it happened. We got back a letter. It was in Latin, which was kind of exciting, approving us. And now we are 100 plus kids more have Catholic education, and we've only really been here for 60 working days. So I really thank you for tonight's attendance. I thank the host committee for spreading the word and being a part of this. Everybody who produced videos for us and put it together. For Partnership New York and the development team who put together this webcast or whatever we call this. I really want to thank you. So with that, I leave you with what I always leave people with. Let the church say amen. Amen.
Please remember to wear your masks, keep your distance, and keep yourself, your friends, and your teachers safe.
Thank you and have a blessed day.
Good job, Graham.
Way to go, Graham. Nice work.
Good. See you later. Have a good day.